Anti-Serb sentiment or Serbophobia is a generally negative view of Serbs as an ethnic group. Historically, it has been a basis for the persecution of ethnic Serbs. A distinctive form of anti-Serb sentiment is anti-Serbian sentiment, which can be defined as a generally negative view of Serbia as a nation-state for Serbs. Another form of anti-Serb sentiment is a generally negative view of Republika Srpska, the Serb-majority entity in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The best-known historical proponent of anti-Serb sentiment was the 19th and 20th century Croatian Party of Rights. The most extreme elements of this party became the Ustasha in the Kingdom of Yugoslavia, a Croatian fascist organization that came to power during World War II and instituted racial laws that specifically targeted Serbs, Jews, Roma and dissidents. This culminated in the genocide of Serbs and members of other minority groups that lived in the independent state of Croatia. Anti-Serb sentiment in the Kosovo Vilayet grew as a result of the Ottoman Serb and Ottoman Greek conflicts during the period of 1877 to 1897. With the Battle of Vranje in 1878, thousands of Ottoman Albanian troops and Albanian civilians retreated into the eastern part of Ottoman-held Kosovo Vilayet. These displaced persons known as were highly hostile towards the Serbs in the areas they retreated to, given the fact that they were expelled from the Vranje area due to the Ottoman-Serb conflict. This animosity fueled anti-Serb sentiment, which resulted in Albanians committing widespread atrocities including murder, looting and rape against Serb civilians across the entire territory, including parts of Pristina and Bujanovac. Atrocities against Serbs in the region also peaked in 1901 after the region was flooded with weapons not handed back to the Ottomans after the Greco-Turkish War of 1897. Albanians committed numerous atrocities including massacres, rapes, looting and expulsion of Serbs in the Pristina and northern Kosovo region. David Little suggests that the actions of Albanians at the time constituted ethnic cleansing as they attempted to create a homogeneous area free of Christian Serbs. The Society Against Serbs was a Bulgarian nationalist organization, established in 1897 in Thessaloniki, Ottoman Empire. The organization's activists were both centralists and Vrovnists of the Bulgarian revolutionary committees, and had by 1902 murdered at least 43 and wounded 52 owners of Serbian schools, teachers, Serbian Orthodox clergy, and other notable Serbs in the Ottoman Empire. Bulgarians also used the term Serbomans for a people from not Serbian origin, but with Serbian self-determination in Macedonia. Anti-Serbian sentiment coalesced in 19th century Croatia when some of the Croatian intelligentsia planned the creation of a Croatian nation-state. Croatia was at the time a part of the Habsburg monarchy, while since 1804 the Austrian Empire, although remained in personal union with the Kingdom of Hungary. After the Austro-Hungarian Compromise of 1867, it was part of Transleithania, while Dalmatia and Istria remained separate Austrian crown lands. Ante Starčević, the leader of the Party of Rights between 1851 and 1896, believed Croats should confront their neighbors, including Serbs. He wrote, for example, that Serbs were an unclean race, and with co-founder of his party, Eugen Kvaternik, denied the existence of Serbs or Slovenes in Croatia, seeing their political consciousness as a threat. During the 1850s, Starčević forged the term Slavoserb to describe people supposedly ready to serve foreign rulers, initially used to refer to some Serbs and his Croat opponent and later applied to all Serbs by his followers. The Austro-Hungarian occupation of Bosnia and Herzegovina in 1878 probably contributed to the development of Starčević's anti-Serb sentiment. He believed that it increased chances for the creation of Greater Croatia. David Bruce MacDonald has put forward a thesis that Starčević's theories could only justify ethnocide but not genocide, because Starčević intended to assimilate Serbs as Orthodox Croats, and not to exterminate them. Starčević's ideas formed a basis for the destructive politics of his successor, Josip Frank, a Croatian Jewish lawyer and politician converted to Catholicism who led numerous anti-Serbian incidents. Josip Frank carried on Starčević's ideology and defined Croat identity strictly in terms of Serbophobia. He opposed any cooperation between Croats and Serbs, and Gilas described him as a leading anti-Serbian demagogue and the instigator of the persecution of Serbs in Croatia. His followers, called Frankovići, would go on to become the most ardent Ustaše members. Under Frank's leadership, the Party of Rights became obsessively anti-Serb, and such sentiments dominated Croatian political life in the 1880s. British historian C.E. McCartney stated that because of the gross intolerance towards Serbs who lived in Slavonia, they had to seek protection